And here we go again. A warm welcome to our UMS release session together with our product management team. Today we have Florian Strobl, who will show us the latest news around the new UMS release 12.06.100. Florian, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me here. How are you?
Our pleasure. Doing well, doing well. I mean, we are recovering from the last Disrupt event. We are still having this in our bones, but it's getting better from day to day.
That's true. That's true. Okay, perfect. So then I just start directly with our release session. So today I have the honor to present you all the great features and optimizations that we have in the UMS with the UMS version 12.6.100. So the first feature is for the UMS web app. And I know a lot of people from the community were already waiting for it. Now I can finally announce that we have the recycle bin for configuration objects implemented. So for objects like profiles, priority profiles, CICs, and files, you can now delete the objects and the directories in the UMS web app. We, of course, take care about the whole permission logic here. That could be quite complex based on your infrastructure. So everything is taken care here, and everyone can delete for what they have the permission for.
This is great. I mean, I don't know for how long people were switching between the UMS Java, so to say, legacy console between UMS web app and the old console to get this step done. So a big shout out to you guys. I mean, it seems trivial, right, to integrate a deletion process and having a recycle bin, but I know from our internal discussion that it's not trivial at all. So
No.
I just want to mention one thing for the people who are listening. You might looking at the PowerPoint at the moment and you see profiles, priority profiles, custom
corporate identity customization.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd still have to change the name in my mind. Thank you very much, Flo. And files. You are missing devices, and that's true. This is a feature which is not integrated now, but will come in the next release. Is that correct so far?
Yes, correct. So we follow here a two-step approach. So we started with the config objects because this is the easier use case, and we created the foundation here to finally also delete the devices, because here we need a sync to the license portal and so on. So that's again much more complex, and therefore we followed the two-step approach. First the config objects in 12.6, and in the next version then the device deletion will be implemented. Correct.
Very good, thank you.
Okay. Then another feature in the UMS web app that you were waiting for is the creation of custom device attributes. So as you probably know, you can create your own attributes for devices, for example, the floor level or the office for devices, and then via the UMS or also from the device, you could fill the attribute and give the information then to the admin. Until now, this was only possible via the console, and with the new release, you can now create and manage the device attributes also in the web app.
Just to give a bit of background around this, Florian, I know that a lot of our listeners are thinking, hey, custom device attributes is just a field that I'm adding to my asset of a device. So basically adding in which floor the device is located, or maybe which kind of use case is behind the device. But there was a way more to do with this, because the custom device attributes are not only a field that is shown in the UMS, it's also a field which is being able to be written from the device perspective. So if you're still using the DHCP structure tag 224 for doing this, which is basically the remote UMS manager tag that you are using to write data back to the UMS, don't do this please anymore, because you are losing a lot of features if you are not using the custom device attributes approach. First of all, we have a great KB article on this, and I will add the link to the recording as well. But we also have great use cases described in our IGEL community, how to use this from a device, but also from a UMS perspective. So cool, good to see that it went through the way to the web UMS finally.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback, Seb. Perfect. Okay, another small improvement, but can bring a lot of value for some use cases is that we track the registration date of the device in the UMS, and you can now see it in the system information in the UMS web app, and you can then use this new field, for example, in the advanced search in the UMS web app, to look for devices. You could do it either on a specific date or within a specific time frame. So for example, if you're interested in how many devices have been registered in the last 7 days, you can set it up and then you have a really nice report there. So small improvement, but I think great value here.
It does, definitely.
Then one feature that makes, I think, Sebastian very happy is we have the French language support in the UMS and OS.
I do. And a couple of colleagues in our internal session yesterday wrote me in direct message, "Hey, Seb, so now finally you're understanding what is shown in the web UMS. Thank you guys for pushing me in that direction." But yes, I'm really, really thankful to see that this language made his way into the web UMS as well as in our product. So very good. Thank you very much.
Yep. So we optimized the technical background here, so it's much more easier now for us to integrate more languages. And I can already announce that more languages are in the pipeline, so stay tuned. Then we have the context menu for config objects. So last year we introduced the context menu for the devices, for the device section, and now it's also possible for the config objects. So with right click, you then have the commands directly in the menu. For example, edit configurations, and now also delete the profile, for example. Then we, as we introduced our corporate identity customization feature, formerly known as VMware customizations, we received a lot of positive feedback and a lot of ideas how we can optimize the feature even better. So yeah, we listened, and a lot of the feedback is now already implemented in the 12.6. So for example, we show all the use cases that the CIC is configuring directly in the card and during the assignment dialog. So you see, for example, here in this example, that the CIC file that is created for an office, for a dentist, has the boot splash and the screensaver in it. So yeah, great usability here. You also have a quick jump function that you know that from the app section, and now that's also possible with the CIC. So you click on the CIC file that is assigned to the device. So you're on the device level at the moment, and then you directly jump to the configuration section of the CIC. And last but not least, we also show the file size now while configuring the CIC. So when you're configuring, for example, the wallpaper, you see directly how big the file is.
And just for those who didn't have the chance to play with this until now, or just use the existing firmware customizations, that's the term I'm still using. So I'm really sorry for every listener. I'm really trying to do my best to change it in my mind. The corporate identity piece is adding also a preview of the data that you are inputting. So looking at a wallpaper, you will see the wallpaper. So you do not have to download it and open it somewhere anymore. I know it was already implemented, but I just want to mention it again. This feature is really helping if you look at wallpapers, boot splash, but also logo that you want to deploy to your endpoint. So if you didn't use it since the UMS Java console, it's definitely worth to give it a new try.
Yeah, exactly. So it brings a lot of value, especially the preview. You can see here one of my vacation pictures that I use for the desktop. So yeah, I really like the feature here. Okay, let's focus on the UMS console. So we have a new feature. It's called SSH connection. So when you want to update or install your ICG via the UMS, until now you had to use username and password, and now there's a new option. You can use public key pair authentication instead. So this is recommended by BSI in Germany, but also NIST in the US. So you can now choose between public key pair authentication or the user and password authentication. Both are possible, and you can choose what fits to you and your security regulations. Then we have added our housekeeping administration task here. So with this task, the expired licenses and duplicates in the UMS are removed. So we talk here about the licenses that stored in the UMS, not on the device. And all the expired licenses and duplicates in the UMS, they could lead to some performance issues. So if you're running this task, you could you could improve the performance of your UMS. So we highly, you should try it out. And of course, you will remove it has less storage consumption here. And in the end, it's a clean environment. So I really recommend to use this new task.
I definitely second this. And if our listeners are not aware of this, we do have some other housekeeping tasks as well in the UMS console. So at the moment, we are talking about administrative tasks. Because we are gathering a lot of logs and people are tending to not configuring these features correctly. So if you're interested in getting more information about housekeeping jobs, drop me a message at Sebastian Perusa at our IGEL community or on LinkedIn or wherever you see me, and I would be happy to forward you the link. I will also add it as well and the video upload on our YouTube channel. But yeah, sorry, Florian, to interrupt you. It's just something that came to my mind when I'm thinking about housekeeping.
Yeah, perfect. No, I highly appreciate it. Thank you. Another optimization, it was also a request from the community in the console. So when you create a view and you want to save it or you want to send the view results as a report, as a CSV file via email, you were quite limited in the delimiter options. Now we make it quite flexible here, so you can select between different options for the delimiter. Just a small improvement, but you have now a better compatibility with other systems if you export the view results here. So let's talk about the network. So if you or if you used OS 11, you already know the feature here. It's called Wake on LAN proxy. So it's actually a really great feature. Imagine you have your employees and you want to reduce the downtime during the business hours. And what you can do is that during night, the devices will boot automatically and they will get all new updates and new apps, and they will install it during the night automatically. And when the employee starts the day at the next morning, all apps are on the current version and no downtime is here. So that's really a great feature. If it's in the company network, if everything is in the company network, you don't have any issue here. If they are not in the same network, so the device and the UMS, you need the Wake on LAN proxy, and that's now possible with UMS 12.6 and with the compatible OS version 12.5.1. So you can configure the Wake on LAN proxy, and then you can send the commands or set up a task job to wake them up during night. Then let's talk about the updates and support. Of course, we updated our system to the most recent versions. So Tomcat to 10.1.28. We updated Spring and Spring Boot and Angular to Angular 18. We also added some new environments to the supported environment section. So now Red Hat Linux version 9 is supported, and also the Oracle DB version 21. Here we have one limitation. It's supported if you if you update from an already existing DB or you set up a totally new Oracle DB. What is not working at the moment is migrating from a non-Oracle DB to the Oracle DB version here. And there are some limitations. We are working on this, and this will probably be solved with the next version. But for 12.6, we have this known limitation here. Then, of course, we also have ICG updates. So our IGEL Cloud Gateway, we updated Azul Zulu and the Spring Boot with the embedded Tomcat. And also we are supporting now Red Hat Linux version 9. Now, that's also very exciting. I want to talk with you a little bit about our roadmap, so the outlook for the next couple of months. One of the biggest and coolest feature is the distributed app repository. For those of you who joined our Disrupt in Munich, they already heard about it. So it's a great feature that will help you in your environments if you have a kind of an air-gapped environment, so with no internet connection or with low bandwidth. In this case, you could set up your own WebDAV server, connect it to the UMS, and then the UMS automatically adds all the apps and the binaries to the server, and the devices will then get the binaries from the server instead of the UMS or the app portal. So it's a great feature. There's already a blog article online. I will send the link to Sebastian so he could add it then to the show notes. And yeah, stay tuned. This will be released with the next version. Then we have Singer sign-on for UMS. So we are currently working on the implementation. It's based on OpenID Connect. So all solutions that following this standard is they are compatible. For example, Entra ID, Okta, and Ping Identity. It's also connected to a role-based access control here, so you can assign permissions to specific roles, and of course you can assign then users to these roles. This will be available in Q1 2025. Then we have, of course, still features that we want to bring to the UMS web app. Our development teams are currently working on the device deletion. We already talked about that. Then also it will be possible quite soon to save support information in the web app. So this will even improve your help desk or your support use case. And then also in the licensing management and the user management is currently in process. With an outlook to the next year, these are the prioritized features we want to implement in the web app. So it's the default directory rules, so the ability to set up specific rules for specific categories or attributes of devices, and then the devices will be moved automatically to specific directories. Then we have jobs and admin tasks next, and then we have certificate management, network, and template keys. I want to say here, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Florian.
So I just want to say here that with the help of Sebastian, we started a survey in the community, and we received great feedback from you. So we really much appreciated here. Thank you very much for your feedback about the prioritization of the features. And I hope that you can see that your opinion, your feedback is shaping our product roadmap here.
Thank you so much for this. Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. I mean, guys, you are seeing that the topics on screen are mostly based on the form survey that we started a couple of months ago. We will do more on this. So we have especially rented a specific service called Poly Survey, which is included and integrated into Slack very well. So in the near future, you will expect more of this, and obviously more having your feedback going directly into our production line by having you prioritizing, but also influencing the corresponding product. And that's something which is extremely well perceived by our product management team, but it's also something which we are extremely thankful for. So everyone who helped us on this, a big thank you and shout out to you guys. It's a huge job. I mean, our devs made it happen. So it's a team effort, I would call it. So thank you again for this.
Thank you very much. Then in regards of the OS 12 adoption, we have two cool features that will come early next year. The first is UMS as identity broker. So instead of any external IDP, you can use the UMS as a local AD for your devices. You could know this feature from the formerly known shared workplace for OS 11. This is now implemented for OS 12. And also we have the asset inventory tracker. So with this feature, it's possible to see all peripherals in the UMS of one device. So you can see which device and which peripherals are connected to devices. And yeah, that could bring a lot of value, for example, in the help desk scenario. And with that, I'm at the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your interest, your feedback. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to stay in touch with you. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Florian. And as always, we are looking forward already for the next release because we are all waiting for new features and we test it as soon as we get our hands on it. So thank you again, guys, in product management as well in development for all the amazing job that you delivered to us. We are usually giving feedback when something is not working, but there is a lot of things which are working now extremely well, from the performance of the web UMS to the new features which went integrated. So a big thank you also to you guys. That being said, I wish you all a pleasant rest of your week. And as usual, if you have any comments or any feedback, please join us on join.igelcommunity.com and we'll be happy to get your feedback brought back into the company. Thank you, guys. See you soon.
See you.